It was a night like any other at the Sinclair Museum, or so it seemed. The guards made their rounds, the cameras blinked silently, but something was different. Something was about to go very, very wrong. At exactly midnight, the alarms blared to life. Red lights flashed throughout the building. Security guards rushed to the Egyptian wing. Their hearts raced, their palms sweated. What they found, or rather didn't find, would shock the art world. The prized Eye of Horus was gone, vanished without a trace. The case that held it lay shattered on the floor. Shards of glass glittered under the emergency lights. It was as if the ancient artifact had simply disappeared into thin air. Questions flooded everyone's minds. How did this happen? Who could have pulled off such a daring heist? And most importantly, where was the Eye of Horus now? Little did anyone know, this was just the beginning of a mystery that would captivate the city for months to come. The Eye of Horus wasn't just any old artifact. It was special. Really special. This golden amulet dated back to ancient Egypt. It was over 3,000 years old. Experts valued it at millions of dollars. But its true worth? That was impossible to measure. In Egyptian mythology, the Eye of Horus symbolized protection and royal power. Pharaohs wore it to ward off evil. It was believed to bring wisdom and healing. This particular amulet was said to have belonged to Cleopatra herself. Its historical significance was immense. The Sinclair Museum had acquired the Eye of Horus just 6 months ago. It was the crown jewel of their collection. Visitors flocked from all over the world to see it. School children pressed their noses against the glass, wide-eyed with wonder. Scholars studied it, hoping to unlock its secrets. Now it was gone. The museum's reputation hung in the balance. The art world was in shock. News of the theft spread like wildfire. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone had a theory, but no one had any answers. At least, not yet. As the investigation began, a list of suspects emerged. At the top, a notorious art thief known only as the Phantom. He had evaded capture for years. His heists were legendary. Could this be his most daring yet? But the Phantom wasn't the only suspect. There was Olivia Sinclair, the museum director's daughter. She had a gambling problem and access to the security codes. Then there was Marcus Green, a disgruntled ex-employee. He'd been fired last month for inappropriate behavior. The evidence was conflicting. Security footage showed a shadowy figure, but their face was always hidden. Fingerprints were found on the broken glass case, but they matched no one in the system. It was as if the thief was a ghost. Alibis were checked and double-checked. The Phantom was supposedly in Paris that night. Olivia claimed she was at a casino. Marcus said he was home alone, but could any of them be trusted? The more the detectives dug, the murkier the waters became. Following the clues. The investigation took unexpected turns. Forensic evidence pointed to an inside job. Traces of rare pollen were found near the crime scene. It matched a plant in the museum's greenhouse. Only staff had access there. They pored over security logs and employee records. Then a breakthrough, a tiny fiber found on the broken glass. It was from an expensive suit, the kind only a handful could afford. A name popped up, Harrison Blackwood, but he had an ironclad alibi. The truth was closer than they thought. With the Blackwood lead seemingly a dead end, the detectives regrouped. They decided to take a different approach. Instead of focusing on who took the Eye of Horus, they asked, where would it go? The black market for stolen artifacts was vast and shadowy. They reached out to informants. They monitored online auction sites. They even went undercover at exclusive art parties. Slowly, pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. Whispers of a big sale, a secret meeting, a buyer from overseas. The trail led them to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. It was a cold, rainy night. The detectives moved in silently, hearts pounding, guns drawn. They could hear voices inside. The moment of truth had arrived. What they found inside shocked everyone. The warehouse was a front for a sophisticated forgery operation. Fake artifacts lined the shelves, and there, in the center of it all, was the Eye of Horus. But the person holding it? That was the biggest surprise of all. Justice served and lessons learned. Dr. Evelyn Rothschild, the museum's chief curator, was the mastermind behind the heist. Fake alibis, planted evidence, forged artifacts. She planned to sell the real Eye of Horus and replace it with a copy. The courtroom was packed during her trial. Dr. Rothschild was sentenced to 20 years in prison. The Eye of Horus was returned to the Sinclair Museum. Museums worldwide overhauled their security systems. The scandal led to a more transparent art world.